Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, D. Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
It's Friday again, and welcome to the Voiceover Now podcast. I am your host, D. Foster III, CEO and President of Wake Up Global Networks International, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Raw, straight, no chaser Friday, where we get into the nitty gritty. Share, like, follow, subscribe, so you know when we come with brand new content. I want to say, hope you had a great week. We got it for you to, listen, disclaimer, some of y'all gonna be mad. Matter of fact, some of y'all may be PO'd with me, but you know I go deep straight, no chaser, no, in the words of Robin, no blurred lines here. I want to say thank you for all of your support. I want to say thank you and a shout out to April J., owner and president of this fine channel, WPBMediaNetworks.com. Support the channel, support the channel, support the channel, support the channel. I love what's going on this platform, bringing information, bringing inspiration, bringing uplifting, positive information, and above all, I love it because it causes you to think for yourself. Have you followed us on social media? If not, to keep up with what we're doing, you can do it on Instagram, Wake Up Global Media, Wake Up Global Media, Facebook, Wake Up Global Networks, on TikTok, The Voiceover Pod, The Voiceover Pod, and on X, WGNINC. Are you checking out the Voice Over Today audio podcast, which uploads 12 noon every Wednesday? We just kind of give you a little snippet, and then thank you for those of you who've been supporting our Sunday morning, The Voice of Hope Connection. All of this happening on this wonderful channel, and I say every time it comes to mind, I am so grateful for April Hall giving us the opportunity to have our voices heard over this international worldwide platform. All right, so for the niceties. Now, did I say like? Did I say share? Did I say follow? I want to hear from you. Our email is thevoiceovertheglobe@gmail.com. Thevoiceovertheglobe@gmail.com. All right, today's conversation is self-esteem or self-importance. I told y'all at the beginning, some of you are going to get upset, but you know me, that's my job, to make you think outside of the box. Self-esteem or self-importance. Now, I know I'm a promoter, encourager of self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, which means I have a healthy self-worth concerning who I am. I have a healthy self-evaluation of my being. I know why I'm here. I know the gifts that I have. I'm not intimidated. This is when you have a self-esteem, right? And I promote that. I love myself. I'm working to better myself. I'm putting the work in. I'm not all that I should be, but I'm working on it. I have value. I mean, this is a healthy, I know God created me in his image. This is a healthy self-esteem. I'm down for it. Now, on the extreme is self-importance. There is a difference. Self-importance. I am important, aka I am better. Oh yeah. See, everybody's important. Everybody's important. See, everybody has to have a sense of healthy self-esteem. But there becomes a problem when it's self-important. You know, let me give you self-importance. That the world is supposed to stop spinning on its axis because I, one out of the 7 billion people, have an issue. Everybody's supposed to stop everything. Let the world stop spinning and everybody pay attention to my issue. Here it is again. Self-importance. When I walk in, everybody is supposed to stop. And everybody should genuflect self-importance. Here it is again. Lady told me one time I would not bend to her request, and she threatened me with the words I detest. D. Foster 3, you detest. She asked me something, and I gave her an honest answer. Self-importance. Do you know who I am? Don't ever tell me that, because I will respond to you like I did her. I didn't respond. I just looked at her like, and she said, you don't care, do you? And that's when I grinned and said, Madam, you got it. Because every one of us are unique, created by God. Every one of us breathe the same air. You say, where you going with this, D. Foster? Hold on, it's Friday. Take another sip, relax, chill, share this, like this, follows. Every one of us have gifts and talents. So when she threw up her self-importance at me, which never goes over well, you know, that kind of importance where you genuflect when you see me and when you kiss my behind because you don't know how much I make and you don't know where I live. All of that stuff that D. Foster 3 could care less. Tell somebody that it matters to, right? So what are you talking about? I'm talking about there's a difference between self-esteem. You value yourself. You have worth about yourself. You're proud of your progression. You're proud of your growth. I have something to offer to the collective. I am somebody. I'm made in God's image. I'm down with that. But with this, do you know who I am and why is the world still spinning when I've got problems that everybody, or I've got an issue that everybody should be attending to because you know who I am? Frankly, my dear, I don't. Came just that close. What are you talking about? I'm talking about an issue via principle that I don't even know why it made such headlines. What are you talking about? This is from the Huffington Post. Another black celeb says, I like that word, they were mistreated overseas and it's becoming a trend. Really? What are you talking about? Serena Williams. Now, in case you've been under rock, who is Serena Williams? She was born in 1981, and I'm reading her bio, so you have reference in case you don't know. Like this, share this, follow this. I'm sure you have a lot of opinions about what I'm going to say. Is an American former professional tennis player. Widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players. I agree. Broke records. Race, gender alike. Yes, I'm down for Serena Williams as a tennis player. And what and who she represented as a tennis player. She was ranked number 1 in the singles by the Women's Tennis Association for 319 weeks. Yes, bravo. I'm down for that. Including a joint record of 186 consecutive weeks and finished as the year-end number 1 5 times. Bravo, bravo. Go, go. Black girls rock. Go, go. I'm down. So you see, I'm not against gender, sex. It's another issue that I have issue with. But I wanted to introduce her so that when I get into the meat of what I want to talk about, you have a reference point. Share this, share this. She won 23 Grand Slam women's single titles, the most in the Open era and the second most of all time. She is a legend. She is a GOAT. She is the only player to accomplish a career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles. Go, Serena, go. But that's not what I want to talk about. Take another sip. I want to talk about the latest news about Serena. Not about tennis, not about slams, not about records, but about going to a restaurant. I want to title this Self-Esteem versus, I think I already told you, but I just wanted to reiterate, self-importance. From the Huffington Post. And I will read a few lines and then I'll give you my commentary. Excuse me. Serena Williams faced an unfortunate situation with her children while enjoying her time in Paris. She was obviously at the Olympics. The 23-time Grand Slam champion was trying to dine at the Peninsular Paris and was denied access to one of the restaurants, according to her tweet. Denied access. Now remember, the title of this article is "Another Black Celeb Says They Were Mistreated." Says. Matter of opinion, matter of insight, matter of perspective. I'm glad the article left themselves open with the one word says. And I continue reading. She tweets, "Yikes. To the restaurant. I've been denied access to the rooftop to eat in an empty restaurant." Why was the restaurant empty, Serena? Oh, I know. I know. Okay, I'm gonna get to that. Because I'm talking about self-worth versus self-importance, self-esteem versus self-important. Remember how I defined them in the beginning? Self-esteem is you value yourself, you value your contributions, you value who you are. You know you've been made in God's image and likeness, and you are somebody, and you've been sent here to make a contribution. Self-important is stop the world. I've got an issue. Everybody should stop what you're doing and focusing on me. Self-importance. One for me, thumbs up. The other for me, 10 fingers down. All right? So she tweets the restaurant, right? I've denied access to the rooftop to eat in an empty restaurant of nicer places, but never with my kids, Williams wrote. I've been denied access to rooftop to eat in an empty restaurant of nicer places, but never with my kids. The restaurant responds. The restaurant responds because you go on Twitter to try to drag a very popular, I did my homework on it, look like 5-star dining. It's not a restaurant, it's a dining venue. Now, dear Miss Williams, the restaurant is polite, the restaurant is mannerable. The restaurant brings her explanation, which I don't think they owed her. I mean, if I went in and I tweeted, I might get an explanation, not as so formal. They may just say, we stated our cause and that's it. But I think the restaurant, I'm on the side of the restaurant on this, they do a great job in customer service. They say, "Dear Miss Williams, please, 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 please accept our deepest." Oh, look at the restaurant. Go on the nth mile. They don't have to do, I don't think I would have got that. "Dear Mr. Johnson, accept our deepest." I said, "Darnell, you did not get a seat because, thank you very much," right? But because it's Serena Williams, all-time GOAT in tennis. Oh, I think they go over and above. Our deepest apologies for the disappointment you encountered tonight. Unfortunately, which she was told when she was there, Our rooftop bar was indeed fully booked. This is a 5-star restaurant. It's not, I won't call it a restaurant. It's a 5-star restaurant. Most 5-star restaurants, especially the Olympics, is there. People from all over the world is booked. And you need something normally like Mother's Day for a nice restaurant, not even a nice restaurant, just a place to go hang out and have some wings. You need a reservation. Most of us are used to something called a reservation. Call in advance and book your spot. Now, unless you want to buy out the whole restaurant for the night like Michael Jackson did one of the toy stores so he could go shopping alone. That was the other option. But not to do that. Would it be a sense of self-importance? Now, let me finish reading because I'm getting ahead of myself. Because I have a lot of passion with this. Because I told you I give 10 fingers down to self-importance. Because everybody is important. Everybody is somebody. I could care less what you make, where you live, with this and that and the other. We are all come out of the same, whatever God you believe, we all are being created equal. Some people just had a hands up. Some people just had a leg up. Some people just were born in certain circumstances, but that don't make you or me better or more important. Like this, share this. Unfortunately, our rooftop bar was indeed fully booked, and the only unoccupied tables you saw belonged to our gourmet restaurant, Le Single Blanc, which was fully reserved. In other words, you ever been in a restaurant? And I'm sure Ms. Williams understood this, but in my opinion, when you have self-importance, you can't comprehend it. You understand it, but you don't want to accept it. So you ever been to a restaurant? I know I have. You go to a nice restaurant somewhere, especially out when you go to California, right? Because people just eat out in California. And you walk in without a reservation, and you say, "Can I have a table for two?" And they say, "We're full. You can wait at the bar. Have some drinks until your table." I've even had this at places like Red Lobster. You can wait at the bar and have your table. We'll call you when you have a table, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Well, you look, and I know this has happened to me, and you see 3 tables. And you say, there are 3 tables. And they'll say, "Oh, no, we have a 3 o'clock reservation." And you got there 2:45, which means those tables are already reserved. That's why you make a reservation so that your table can be reserved. So according to this article, Miss Williams looked at a reserved table, people that had called in advance and made. Now, this is more to this story, and I've looked at several different renderings and articles of this story, and they all seem to be the same, right? I mean, unless something else comes out, I'll come back and redact it. But from the information that I have so far, and I've checked several sources, they all say the same. Nobody said that she called and made a reservation. Nobody said that she had prepared to come. It says she walked in, she saw 2 tables, and she wanted them. Well, excuse me, madam, there are people who made a reservation. Now, they may not have your money. They may not have your title. They may not have your prominence. But they are people of importance also. And they made a reservation. And the restaurant was doing the honorable thing by not giving away people's reservations. Because I know some restaurants probably, "Oh, that's Serena Williams. Well, you know what? I know there's tables are reserved. Let's send them somewhere else. Tell them they gotta wait. Give this to Serena Williams." Self-importance. Maybe that's what she was thinking. I don't know. I haven't talked to her. But obviously she felt away. And this is too common of an attitude to me today. I'm going to even break it down. I called it a sense of self-importance, but let me even break it down. To me, it's a sense of entitlement. entitlement. And that spirit of entitlement is running our countries, where people think that because of my position, because of my power, because of my influence, because of my education, because of who I know, I ought to get what I want when I want it. No holds barred, no questions asked. And unfortunately, in life, it doesn't always happen that way. And it didn't happen that way. And I'm glad it didn't happen that way. Because the Bible says, let me bring up the Bible. The Bible says, he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And he or she that puts themselves higher than everybody else should be humble. And I'm sure this was a humiliating circumstance. I mean, the world-class tennis champion walks in a restaurant and is turned down. And then you get on X and you tweet about it. And to my surprise, but to my joy, Twitter was not, at least the tweets I read, much support. Because we're tired of people, and I think this is the mass collective, using status and economics and position and education and socialization to tread over people who put on their pants like everybody else, put on a dress, they put on a bra, put on underwears, panties, whatever, bleed like everybody else, thinking they are exclusive and that they can walk over people who may not fit their categories. I applaud the restaurant for saving the tables and not catering to a sense, in my opinion, of self-entitlement that comes out of an unhealthy sense of self-importance. And it goes on. I told you some of y'all were going to be, but this is where we straight, no chaser. Social media, I read, reacted to Ms. Williams' claims of unfair treatment, with some tweets defending, while others question, I love it, was this just a moment of celebrity entitlement? Now, if the restaurant knew she was coming, if the restaurant reserved her table, if the restaurant pushed her to the front because they had a reservation, I get it. And all of us have used some of those things to get an advantage. So I'm not ignorant, I'm not dumb. I'm not saying that those things don't help us. But what I'm saying is when we think that the world should stop in every issue, and I got a problem because you got on Twitter and the people already told you, what were you trying to do? Drag the restaurant because you didn't get your way? Well, I think it backfired, and I think people like me, now we thought you more highly, but now we see you in a different light. We still honor your record, but we see you in a different light. You wanted them people table. Them people made a reservation. Them people want to eat just like you. What would it look like? Them people made their reservation, which you did not. And she did not. Look at me acting like I'm talking to her. I am talking. Because there's hers and hims all over the world. And ain't nobody talking about it. We talk about it in private, but it's not being discussed in public, and it's reverse classism. That's what it is. Told you this straight no chaser this Friday. This straight no chaser Friday. If you want blurred lines, you got to go somewhere else. I ain't got them. I ain't Robin Thicke. I wonder if this is just celebrity entitlement. Who among us hasn't walked into a restaurant wondering why there was an hour-long wait when there were several tables empty? I tell you, this is my sentiment. Now, we know, to be fair, that there's been a history of racism. I mean, Oprah Winfrey, you remember the situation when she went overseas and was told she didn't look like she could afford a $38,000 bag? We understand that. I'm not saying discrimination in Paris and France doesn't exist to blacks. Oh, yes, they are. But I do not think this was one of them. So for this article to say another black celeb says they were mistreated overseas and it's becoming a trend, maybe so, but not in this issue. This is a case of severe entitlement that went left. Thank God. And more of it needs to go left. Here's some of the comments. Then I'm finished. I told you on this podcast, I don't tell you how to think. I just want to give you the right information to help you think for yourself. One of the responses to a tweet, you were denied access because they were serving prejudice. Shame on them. Now, I don't know which way that tweet was meant, but it was in the gray area. And you could take that either way. Here's another one that takes up for it. Glad you didn't have to waste money there. I'm sure they didn't really miss money. Here's another one. LOL, playing the victim while at the same time doing the whole. Don't you know who I am? I know, I detest it. So much stunning, so much brave. So sorry that happened to you. They should have been honored to have you. Oh God. So let this be a lesson in life. God wants us to have a healthy self-esteem, value ourselves, love ourselves, understand our contribution to the world, appreciate the gifts that we have, acknowledge the gifts. She has a great gift to play tennis. But he doesn't take kind to a healthy sense of self-importance. Better than, more important than, entitled. I'm supposed to have this because of who I am. And if I can give you the Bible again, the Bible. And I don't lean and quote and throw the Bible much on this podcast, but today's podcast is so fitting. He humbleth the proud, and he exalteth the meek. Humble yourself before the hand of Almighty God, and he will lift you up in due season. There's a table for you, Serena, in a 5-star restaurant somewhere around the world. But you may have to make a reservation, like me and everybody else, and not claim foul racism and prejudice. It's simply to me, y'all. I'd love to hear from you. Self-entitlement gone left. Listen, I want you to like, I want you to share, I want you to follow, I want you to subscribe, I want to hear from you, thevoiceoftheglobe@gmail.com. And again, that's why I read her credentials, not hating female, not hating gender, not hating race, but I tell you what I do detest: self-importance and self-entitlement, which is wrapped up in, don't you know who I am? Yes. Like me, a seed of God. I can't go no further. Till next week, reminding you that you have a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.